On the table today at Squirrel Stampede, we have the highly requested Transformers Rise of the Beasts Studio Series Scourge and BattleBots Sawblaze. Oh, where did Sawblaze come from? And Sawblaze seems to have a bone to pick with Scourge as it is going right for the kill shot. Ooh! Ah! Eee! Oh, Sawblaze is so strong, pushing Scourge around the table at ease. Sawblaze is just taking apart Scourge. The Scourge is taking a ton of damage. Who could possibly be driving and controlling Sawblaze like this? What a battle this is! Sawblaze has got some power. Oh, look at that! Scourge in vehicle mode has had enough and has gone into robot mode and is now on the offensive. Look out, Sawblaze! Ooh! Eee! Oh man, what a battle! It's gonna take forever to clean up this mess on the table. And it looks like Decepticon Scourge finally has the upper hand as Sawblaze is falling apart. And I think finally here Scourge is going to give the kill shot and... oh, there it goes. Sawblaze is no more, and Scourge, uh-oh, Scourge sees us. Let's get out of here.
Squirrel Stampede.
And there, on the table, Studio Series 101 Scourge. Is that how you say it? Scourge. Giant leader-classed box transformer. I like the full solid boxes with these. The cutouts on the smaller Studio Series seem to weaken the toy now. Something about that old plastic window made it look fancier, but now I just prefer a full solid box. Also great for repackaging. You know pieces aren't gonna fly out of there. Big screen inspired scale detail and backdrop. Now most of my memories of Scourge involve movie Scourge, movie boat Scourge of the future, blue. Looks like a giant cruise ship, sports a beautiful biker's mustache, and is all around menacing with his sweeps. So I don't know too much about this alternate Scourge. I know he was a truck before, kind of like an Optimus Prime doppelganger at some point. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out in this new Rise of the Beasts. I can see why this was requested. The truck looks really cool. I can't wait to see all these little Autobot symbols and insignias stuffed on his grill there. And the robot mode is looking pretty fierce with lots of spiky things coming about. And at 31 steps of transformation should keep us pretty busy, so let's get Scourge out of box. And crashing out of box onto the back display of his museum, Scourge. Stand up, Scourge, stand up, leader class. He was a tall transformer. There's the backdrop to the museum. I typically don't use these, but you know, they're growing on me. They're nice and strong cardstock. Increases the strength of the box. And again, I can see why Scourge is recommended. This robot mode is pretty cool. He's standing very tall at about around 8 inches in height. Maybe a little more or less when you count up these stacks in the back. Detail's looking pretty good too. He's mostly gray, but there is some scratch marks here and some tan chain marks there. Some silver paint on the head, some good use of some red translucent pieces throughout. A little more than what we had saw with both Cheetor and Primal. They were both acting pretty plain. Maybe it's just the slight addition of those red-orange transparent pieces that give it a little more color. Plus, he's full of great weaponry. Look at this full-on right arm axing abilities. And then the claw on his left arm. This thing is quite menacing. Look at that thing. I could grab onto any Autobot and just crush them. Very nice looking, and it's articulated too. You really gotta look up close to see if Scourge's head is still in there. Looking closer in, I do see that classic inspired handlebar funny looking biker's mustache of the 80s. It is in there. Funny, I thought maybe they had replicated it on his head there and just flipped it. Now there would be dropping down. But no, I see it underneath that mask of his. And it's a pretty menacing mask too. It looks really cool. There's lots of levels and layers of detail on this Transformer. I'm quite liking the detail they placed into him. For articulation in robot mode, head rotation most likely up there at the top of his neck, so you can really give some cool up-looking positions, and down with the neck, so there's 2 points there. That's kind of a rare thing. Head likes to bob a little bit. Must be something interesting in the transformation. But that's quite cool, lots of positioning there. Shoulders are on interesting geared hinges, must have to do with the transformation too. You can lift and lower, and then also position at the arm, I believe. There's some arm hinging and some elbow hinging and rotation. Back to that claw is just incredible. You can close this claw up, you can open it up, looks way more menacing opening up So there's a lot of movement in that arm there, and equal movement on this side. Same thing with the shoulders. Oh, they're pinning out. They need to pin back in a way, but you can do some things there. And look at this blade there. Look at this giant blade moving about on a hinge off to the side of the arm. Hands there, we've got a gripping hand. That's good to see. At least we have one hand on one side, one regular hand. So the fingers move out. You can grip something. Now you can place that weapon into his handle like so, having him grip it down. Very Klingon-esque and sharp, but I kind of like to have it hanging down. I don't know why, it's just interesting to me. Elbows. Waist rotation. There is waist rotation, that's cool. Oh, this guy's going to be in a multitude of positions. Hips to push out and hinge out. Knees at these double wheels. Oh, I love that ratcheting sound. And the ankles, we can kind of pivot off to the side, and I believe they also point down a little bit. There's a lot of posting in there, or a lot of positioning. I know I had it moving before from here, this point, there we go. There's the hinge there. So there is a multitude of articulated spots here, possibly involved with the transformation, of course, but gives you a chance to really place this guy in a ton of really cool, interesting positions, which I like that ability. And from all around, looking great. There's not too much backpacking going on, not too much kibble or whatever you want to call it, hanging off the back of him that looks funny. It actually holds really well on him, and it's balanced. He's not tipping over. He's got nice solid footprint. So this is a very quality robot mode of Scourge. He makes a good villain. And as for scale with Primal and Cheetor, the Voyager series, they are about a head shorter than him, so it's going to be kind of fun. They're going to have to really team up to take this guy down. And together in a display, even though they wouldn't really be on the same sides, enhance the look of the series so far. So pretty fantastic looking Scourge. It's a long cry from Battleboat Scourge. I do miss the boat blue of old school spaceship Scourge here from, this is Titan's Return, I believe. I do not have a other Scourge. This one's a little head bobby. But yeah, it's kind of a fun update to a very classic character. So now we got to figure out, what was it, 31, 32 steps? There's 31 stages of transformation with this one. 31 stages. Back to vehicle form transformation. Both Primal and Cheetor were pretty quick in transformation. This one I fear may take more time, but may be a lot of fun doing so. Oh, before we transform, one more feature. We have a giant solid blaster weapon to figure out. So this claw arm actually removes, and does so, I believe, up here at the elbow post somewhere. There we go. Oh, that's so much Lego-like. That feels very much inspired by Lego Technic, doesn't it? I can almost like place a Lego post in there. I wonder if I could attach, say, a Doctor Robotnik to that arm. Where could I try a point? How about back here? Unattach his thruster, maybe this floating base. And can I place in a Robotnik on that arm? I can! I can almost place a Robotnik on that arm. Oh no. Okay, Robotnik's a little heavy. Maybe a little bit heavier than it should be. But it feels so Lego-like. So where's our other attachment laser? Over here. Here we go. This also plugs in, which way? I think like so. There. So we also have more traditional arm cannon there. And if we rotate around to his back, I think we can attach his other arm. Fold up his arm here, and okay, there's a groove there that'll just fit right into this post if you want to storage his claw arm, which now becomes kind of an octopus tail. So there's a few fun features of weaponry with this one. Again, this axe over here, it folds up too nicely. So there's a little bit of adventure with all the weaponry on this character. But now we can move back into transformation. Let's pop back this arm cannon, switch back around to this really cool claw arm. I think that's signature look we want to keep together. And now we can go with 31 steps of transformation. Alright, so where do we start with this one? Step 1, 180 degrees around to the back side. We'll start at the back of Scourge. And we'll drop down that giant back assembly piece of his truck cab. It looks like smokestacks, all that fun. Not sure what step 3 is saying, but we're mostly just unfolding this back. These stacks here rotate on pivot points. That's interesting, but I think we're just unfolding these side panels out. And then positioning as needed. Step 5, we'll swing down 90 degrees down to the feet here. See what's going on with these feet. And it looks like on his left leg there is one post, another post to put Doctor Robotnik onto his foot. We gotta pull that out. And step 6, we rotate his legs wheels out. Step 7, lower wheels extend just slightly so, and they may just keep popping back in. We'll see as we go. So either side. And to step 8, we point the toes down. And then maybe point them in. That's odd. And then up and around. Okay, that's easy, I got that. And for step 11, we can kind of rotate now down to the ground finally. Maybe straightening out these legs a little bit more, so these wheels roll, I hope. And something has to be done with this giant arm and swinging axe thing. This is going to fit in here somewhere, underneath, I suppose. Maybe if we swing down this axe piece so it's not so much in the way, it should clip together. And then I believe it's just kind of pointing towards the back end of the truck. Step 13, we're rotating shoulders up, I wonder. Trying to get the exact reach figured out here. Oh, there's even some extension. There's some extension here underneath his arm. That way we can get this spike going all the way back and forward, and then keep this shoulder up too. And then step 14, this whole thing may rotate up and in, I wonder. But how much rotation is the question? This whole spike assembly is now kind of inside the inner leg, and it's going to attach. Oh, there's an attachment point right on the inside of the knee, and the inside of that spike are going to fit together. And it fits pretty tightly, so I think I've got it in the right positioning, even though there's stuff going everywhere. And then the other leg should squeeze in there somewhere too. There's that post we flipped out from his ankle, and that's going to be the post that goes into the other ankle. Oh, okay, that's nice and tight. This lower assembly is nice and tight. I like that. Step 17, I believe we can rotate around and then kind of look at this claw arm now. And the claw arm is going to kind of do something similar, maybe. Maybe kind of lift up this backpack piece out of the way. So let's get this extended so it's nice and flat. And in step 19, we'll rotate up just as we did before, trying to match this. There's a lot of pivot work in here. There's a lot of pivoting and rotating, and I think it goes in this direction. I see the little Autobot insignias pointed up, so I think that's the right way to go. And now we've got this claw arm tucked in underneath the cab. I think this is one of those more it's an art than a science transformer, because there's a lot of different things going on. We're gonna flip this cab down. There's more of the grill. That's gonna go up front here in between these two hood pieces, I wonder. It's kind of a flat thing, I wonder. Kind of flattening it in somehow. And at some point this nose is gonna close in together. I don't know how though yet. I'm just wiggling everything together, but it somehow eventually fits. That feels good. And now step 21, we rotate upside down. There are some side teeth that need to be flipped down on his torso. So these two sides will flip down. And in 22, this whole teeth front also flips up more. And in step 24, this whole front chest assembly piece, I guess, is going to swing on over like that. And I feel like this is where it's going to get the most trickiest, is where this is going to swing around. This is like the front grille of the truck, I believe. And then there's these wheels down here. So the wheels are going to flip out, and they're going to attach into these parts here. So that's not too bad. I like that. Oh, I see what they're trying to say. This whole assembly, the whole front grille and the wheel are going to wrap around and to the front. Okay, that's actually not as crazy as I first thought. I thought, oh man, this is the really crazy hard part, but so far, it's all going together. Yeah, that's almost satisfying how easily that swung around. It all just kind of swings into position and looks really good. So by doing so, we jumped from like step 25 pretty much all the way through 28. And now we can start folding up these side panels, getting these stacks to fold up. Let's see, maybe rotating the stacks first, then folding down. And the same on each side. And those are squeezing in nicely. I'm not seeing any problems with those yet. Gotta get them nice and straight. These stacks are really cool. They kind of go everywhere. This piece doesn't feel exactly straight, but I think I'll work on that as I go. There is vehicle mode Scourge. Kind of comes together quicker than all the stages suggest. It's a really nice, tight looking truck. A little bit mess back here on this section. It would be hidden if you had a trailer, I suppose. But the front section here is looking pretty good. I really like how that came together. It was different. I don't do too many truck cabs like this, especially in Decepticon form. We can take this weapon here and do a couple things with it somehow. I guess it unfolds itself like so. It just kind of wraps around. So this will also hug onto the body somewhere. These rotate out, I think. And then there's two posts on what were used to be his knees. So these will somehow swing down on this like that. More like that into these side posts on each side. They look kind of funny though, kind of opened. Yeah, those look very open. If they had flipped them around the other way, I think I would have liked it better. But those attach in the back there kind of hide some of the things underneath. And you've got it. You've got Scourge transformed. And again, I see why everyone recommended. Pretty fun. Pretty edgy looking vehicle form, and rolling on all six it does for the most part. Some of the wheels are a little high, some are a little low. I like the scarring on the metal there, the sides, the roughed up look they did to the paint job. And there's some smaller paint details here and there too, little lights up on the top of the cab and wheel wells, and some of that tan chaining going around the smokestacks and front grille. Definitely better paintwork than what we saw with Cheetor and Optimus Primal. These stacks are kind of fun. You can kind of move them about if needed, rotate them forward, lift them up. Overall, pretty menacing, kind of somewhat reminds me of Megatron from Dark of the Moon a little bit. So that's your Scourge in vehicle mode. I'll probably keep him more often in robot mode. I think robot mode is more fun, but certainly both modes turned out pretty well. Oh, and look at this, we have a special guest star from the Predacons. Tarantulas is back on the table, way in the back there, spinning about. Why do I keep getting spiders on my table? Where is this coming from? Tarantulas, jeez. Watch out. Oh, there he goes. It does not like Scourge. And it just went underneath the table behind the blue screen, so who knows what happened there. And uh-oh, here comes Sawblaze back for the attack. Oh, it's got the squirrel head. What are we gonna do now? Oh, the squirrel head. Stop. Oh, not the squirrel. Fight Scourge. Those forks getting right under Scourge. Scourge coming back. Oh no, perfect spot for Sawblaze. Ouch. Oh no, this is awful. Ah, the speed at which the blade goes. Ouch. Oh, Scourge. Ouch. So while those two work things out off screen, we have Megatron from Rise of the Beasts. Is Megatron even in this? I don't know yet. I gotta figure that out. That looks like Scourge's hand right there. This is a Autobots Unite transformer. It's just finding these recently. We've got a core that drops into Megatron and does something interesting. 9 steps of transformation. Let's see how to pack. And Megatron is out in robot mode. Sky blue gray-ish with gray on feet of tread, so he must be back into tank mode form. Yes, certainly a Cybertronian-like tank. Decepticon insignia down at the bottom, so we know the allegiance. 9 steps of transformation. I don't see instructions other than on the back of the box here, so I think it should be pretty easy. So for step 1, we flip up his cool little claw arms. Step 2, rotation around 180 degrees to the back, and rotation or pull back. We're gonna rotate these down. These treads are gonna go down. Step 3, lie him flat upside down. Step 4, making sure to push in these toe treads, I suppose, foot treads. They'll go right into the shins. Step 5, separate them out just a little bit at the knee, I suppose. Step 6, this chest piece should flip on over and down. Maybe we're trying to hide the head right now, I wonder. There we go. And 9, flip back over onto treads and clicking in these sides somehow. Something like this, I suppose. It's funny, his head is just looking forward. And then there's these side wings that can flip on out for maybe flight tank mode. So pretty simple and fun tank mode Megatron. I always like the simplicity of these, and a little bit more fun than I think the flex changers that we saw with Cheetor. Wasn't too into the flex changers yet. So then we can take down this special feature here. I believe it just fits in like so. You want the lever arm facing up, and it's going to fit right into this exhaust port underneath Megatron there. Then when we press this down, it should give him a rolly effect. It's almost Thunder Tank-esque. Oh! Oh! There goes the broccoli. Oh, my back wall. I hope I didn't scare the spider back there. Okay, this one's pretty fun. It's a good novelty Megatron. And quick to transform, I always like that. So if you're looking for fun and something quick, this little Megatron of Autobots Unite is out and about. Oh no, they're back! Ow! Ow! Ah! Still fighting on the table. Now things are really getting interesting with Robotnik on top. I don't know. Look out, Landry. This battle's gonna go on forever. And that is Sawblaze on the table. I mean Scourge on the table. Thank you everyone who recommended. Definitely a Transformer to check out for Rise of the Beasts. If you liked today's video, please give us a squike. Squirrel Live, Squam it. Who do you think would win in a rematch with Sawblaze and Scourge? Thanks so much for watching. That's what I have to say about that.